Hello guys, welcome to another episode of our Python for Artificial Intelligence series. So in the previous video we looked at some variable types, and in this video we are going to look at the remaining ones. So I already have my VS Code open with this file variable types.py which I created, and my command prompt where I'll be running the code, like while we're testing the code. So the first variable type we are going to be looking at today is a NoneType. So the NoneType, which is often indicated when we receive a known, or when we declare a variable and assign it to a known, like so, which indicates the absence of a value. So the NoneType, the NoneType variable data type indicates the absence of a value. That means it's not a zero or negative, it's just the absence of a value. And this, like, there's one of the scenarios you might get this is maybe you have a function that doesn't return anything. Most of the time functions run to maybe return a value or something to us, but a function that doesn't return anything. So let's say we had a function, let's say we have a function, let's call it return nothing, that takes an argument, and let's say it takes text as an argument, and all it does is print text. So if we decided to create another variable called sum variable and assign it to return nothing, and then we pass some parameter, okay, and then we decide to print some variable, so we get some parameter, which is the parameter that is passed to the function. It is this is coming from line 29, and then the next print, which is known, is the value we are getting from printing some variable, which is indicating to us, okay, this function does not return anything. Normally a function runs to return to us a value, but this function does not return anything, so it returns a known. And we wanted to get the variable type, the data type of some variable. Let's say we print it, let's say type, and we say some variable. So we are seeing known, and then we are seeing class NoneType. So the data type is NoneType, but the value we get is known. So known is indicates the absence of a value. So this can be likened to null in other programming languages, like maybe JavaScript. This referred to as a null, so it indicates the absence of a value, even though there might be some slight differences in the behavior. But at this level, let's just take it that this can be likened to a null, so it indicates the absence of a value. So the next data type we are going to look at is a list. So the next data type we are going to look at list. And lists in Python are built-in objects that store collection of items. So many times in programming we need to store a list or a collection of items. These items can be of the same type or have different structures. In Python, like, we can store different items that have different structures. So the way we create lists are, let's say names. The way you create lists is we declare the variable name and then assign it, and we do it using a square bracket. So square bracket, and then within our square bracket we have the different items that we are trying to store in our list. So let's say here we have names. Let's say we have Mark, we have John, we have Mary. So this is a list of names. Now in another list might have a number within it, might have a boolean within it. There is no problem, but given these are names, let's just leave it first like this. So this is a list in Python. So lists are a very important data type. They help us to store collection of items. So for example, like we are going to go deeper into each of these data types we have looked at, but one thing you can know is, like for example, we have this list. One way we'll try to access what we have in this list is by doing something like names. If you wanted to get maybe the first value in programming, we start counting at 0. So the first value, which is mark, to access it we'll just pass a square we'll just pass a 0 within the square bracket in front after name. So we write like this, and you see it gives this line, it gives us mark, which is the first item in our list. So we are going to look at them more, but for now just understand lists are a data type in Python or in programming that help us to store a collection of items. Now the next data type we are going to look at, let me comment this out just so that when we are okay. So the next data type we are going to look at is we are going to look at tuples. So tuples are similar to lists, except that they are immutable. So they are immutable, like they are meant for storing items that shouldn't be modified. So like creating a tuple, let's say we might have something like, let's just say candidate, and creating a tuple. This like we give a variable name, assign it like equal to assigning for assigning, and then we use like normal brackets. This is how we create tuples. And tuples are similar to lists in that they are indexable. That means you can pick the first item, the second item, the third item in a tuple. But one thing that's different from lists we just looked at is the fact that they are immutable. So they are meant for storing related information and information that shouldn't change. Like let's say we just created candidate, we might say the candidate name is Mark, and then the date of birth, like the date of birth we might just have 12 1994. So and then we might have maybe like we can have many things, but the idea is storing information that shouldn't be modified. And this is how we create tuples using like normal brackets. We just saw that with list we use square brackets. So these are tuples, and like most of the times we use them to store related information. So we are going to go deeper. So the next data type we are going to be looking at dictionaries. So dictionaries are a very important data type in programming. Like in other programming languages, we can liken this to object. So to object, when we start looking at object-oriented programming, we are going to understand more about them and why they are so important. So but for now, like here we refer to them as dictionaries, and they are data type that store data in key value pairs structure that give us the ability to be able to pick values by using their keys. Like pick a value, like access values by using their keys, the keys that are assigned, like that are paired with these values. So some of one of their features is that they are mutable. That means we can add more key value pairs, as well as remove from dictionaries. So creating a dictionary in Python is as easy as, let's say most of the times dictionaries are used like to denote like objects, or like, so let's say we had something like a, let's say, car, and we do this by using do this using curly braces. We just saw that for tuples we have normal brackets, and for list we have square bracket, but here we have curly brackets. So let's say car, so some properties, so some things that a car might have, we could say color, which could be red. A car might have a year it was manufactured, let's say 2010, sorry, year, let's say 2010. Then it might have like, let's just leave it for now, but these properties can be many, but for now we are just having the dictionary car that has a color and a year, keys, like properties, and they have values red and 2010 respectively. So these are dictionaries. Like, this is just having two, but like in real world scenario, a dictionary, like, it might have so many different properties, and this is how we create them. And these different properties give us the ability to, like, if we print car, we get color. We just get like the whole structure. We get color, red, year, 2010. Now we can access just the color by doing this. Now the color, this is not like, by doing this we are able to get the value of color. So when we talk about storing data in key value pairs form, is because we have the ability to pick values of a dictionary using their keys. So if we wanted to pick the color, we just say we use car, and then we pass the name of the key in square bracket, and if we run it, we get red. Like, and then if we wanted to get the year, run it, so we get 2010. So these are dictionaries. There's a lot that can be said about them. Like, we'll go deeper into each of these different data types, but for now just understand that these are dictionaries, and this is how they are created in their most basic form. Yeah, so these are dictionaries, and they're a very important data type in Python, and in other programming languages these are like objects. So the next and probably the last, which is the last data type we are going to be looking at, are sets. And sets are like, they are just like lists or tuples, but they are different. They are different in the sense that we saw that with lists we could index items, like we could pick the first item, pick the second, like we could pick items by providing an index to the list and then getting the value at that index. That is also possible with tuples, but with sets, like, they are different in that they are unindexable. We can't index values, or we can't use like they have an unordered structure, so we can't do something like pass a 1 and try to. So, like, let's just write the code, and then it will be easier to go from there. So set, set another data type. And if you had to check if you had to check, so for all of these data types, we can check their types by just doing like, for example, in this case we could print type, we pass car, type of car. Anyway, we need to uncomment this so that you can see it. So if we dictionaries, this is So we get the class dict. So for all of these different types, different data types, we can get that types by just passing a variable name into type, and we'll get the data type, the name of the data type. So that's for dictionaries. I just wanted to show that. So for sets, so sets are another data type that we have in Python, and like I said, they are indexable. That means that data stored in sets are not indexable. Like we cannot use like 0, 1 to just pick values at different values within a set. And most of the times they are used to store unique values. Like you cannot store duplicate values within a set. They are used to store unique values. Like sets cannot contain duplicate values. And creating sets is as easy as let's say let's call a set. Let's say wanted to create a set. Let's call it let's just say test set, and then they also use curly brackets. But the difference between them and dictionaries is that dictionaries use curly brackets but have value stored, like the items, like values in key value pair structure. But for sets, we just have curly brackets surrounding a list of related items that are unique. So might have mark here as a name, might have someone's age, we might have 23, we might have a boolean true, we might even have we can even have coordinates. Like we might even have coordinates, maybe 3 point something and 11 point something. So this is a set. So this is a set. So they have their use cases, they have things we can do with them that we are going to look at in like down the line. But for now, this is a set, and the key things to note about them is that they are meant for storing unique values. They cannot contain duplicates, and creating them we use curly brackets, just like we do with dictionaries. But the difference between dictionaries store values as key value pairs, but for sets we just have the values listed in between them. And one key thing to note again with sets is that they are unindexable. Like we cannot say print, let's say test set, and then we say maybe we want to get, normally we saw that with list we could pass a 0 and it will give us the first item. But if you try to do this with set, it's not possible. It's going to give us an error because they are indexable. Like they are on order. They are not like list and tuples that we can list and pick particular items. So